Hello and welcome to this video where I'm going to show you how I made a 750-page Leuchtturm out of 3 Leuchtturms that I glued together. Yes, I was a bit scared going into this project and I did mess it up a bit, but the result I ruined a few pages by cutting carelessly, but the result was still worth it. So here I am removing the front cover from my gold Leuchtturm. So I'm keeping the back intact because I want the pocket to be intact. So I'm just removing the front, and then I remove the whole cover from this teal one, because that one's going to be in the middle, so it doesn't need any covers. And I do recommend that you use a ruler so that you don't cut into the actual pages that you want to keep. I didn't do this with the first 2 books because I'm impatient and I just, wanted it done. So yeah, I'm using a craft knife and I'm just cutting at the very edge of the signature that's closest to the cover and trying to keep it intact, because sort of the innards, I want the innards because I'm going to glue them onto the innards of the other notebook. And I'm keeping the sturdy sort of cardboardy page at the front and the back because I figure when you glue those pages together, it will, they're more sturdy, so they won't sort of rip as easily as a normal page, a thin page. And also I like to make pockets out of those pages, so I'm keeping them to do that. So I have pockets in each of the 3 sections, because the end result of this little escapade will be, it's very obvious that it's 3 books glued together, so the resulting big book tends to flop open where the original notebooks started, so those are good places to make pockets to keep stuff. So here I am removing the back cover from the 3rd notebook and keeping the front cover intact. Having some trouble. And if you've watched this far, I guess you're interested in seeing how I do this and what the result looks like, or you're just horrified and can't look away and you're wondering, why is she doing this? Well, I need a tome. That's the short answer. I love Leuchtturms, but they only last me about 2.5 months because I use it for everything. I plan in it, I draw in it, I paint in it, I journal in it. I love wasting paper. I use my planner or journal or omni journal, bullet journal, whatever you want to call it. I use it instead of my phone. Every time I'm bored, I have a moment to spare, I'm waiting for something, or just, while people are talking and I'm not participating, I can just pick up my book and doodle something, write something. It's my constant companion. And of course, if you do that, you use between 2 and 15 pages a day. You run out of space pretty quickly. And that means I have to migrate a lot of stuff between books, which is even more wasteful because you write the same thing over and over again because you need the information in the new book. So I thought, because I watched Johanna Clough's video where she made a journal out of a bunch of composition notebooks that she glued together. And I thought, I'm going to try this with my Leuchtturms, because I had just ordered 3 of them to, keep me in supply for a couple of months. And I thought, I'm going to try this. I'm going to dive in. I'm going to be brave. So I did, and I really loved the result. And here I am gluing the first 2 books together. And I cut carelessly, and I'm also gluing carelessly. So it didn't end up completely straight. But then again, I tend to, my books get very messy, so it doesn't really matter if it's not neat to begin with, because it's really not going to be neat at the end. So I'm covering the sturdy page at the front with PVA glue. It's just ordinary wood glue. There's probably better glue to use for this kind of project, but I don't know, it's just something I've got used to in my junk journaling, and I think it makes for durable results. So that's what I'm using. And of course, now I'm attaching the 3rd book on top of the other 2, and trying to make it fairly straight. If you do this, as I said, use a ruler, and also be more careful how you place the books. Oh, look at that. I even had to reposition the whole thing because of something. And a few pages lost. And I really don't know why I haven't thought of this solution earlier, because I've had this problem for years, and I've dabbled in other types of planners, like I've used rings and discs and traveler's notebooks, but nothing really. I just, I want a book, one single book, and everything else just feels wrong to me. And once I was finished with this, at this point when I felt the whole thing in my hand, the whole tome, I was so pleased, because it's exactly the right size. It lies so perfectly in my hand. It feels like a Bible, and it's just, so many pages with so much possibility. It's just, I love it. And I never recorded the final touch where I glued some fabric along the spine with textile glue, and then also put gaffer tape on top of that to make it really, durable, I guess. And I think I'm going to glue some kind of decorative thing on top of the spine as well, like lace or something, to cover up the gap, because right now it's not completely covered, as you can see. But other than that, it's done.